Hi, welcome back to the craft room. I am so glad that you could join me today. Today, I'm going to share with you the project that I made for Lottie and Terri's, June challenge, which is make a wearable. Now, I confirmed with Lottie before I made this that their challenges do not have to be made with yarn. They don't have to be knitted or crocheted. They can be anything. And the only restriction that they had for the wearable is it could not be a hat unless you made like a set, like a hat and scarf or hat and gloves or something like that. So, since y'all know I'm not a big project person, gloves would take forever. I don't like to wear crocheted tops or things like that. It's just not me. So I've been wanting to make myself some skirts, because I never can find what I need at the thrift store, because I think everybody's either my size or, you know, smaller. So I have a hard time finding skirts, and I like skirts, not dresses. I do wear dresses, but I like more skirts because I like to wear shirts so that I can, you know, not tuck them in. But anyway, I've been wanting to make some skirts, and I've been collecting sheets because sheets make excellent material, especially if they're not too worn, and tablecloths too. Some tablecloths will work as well. But anyway, I've been collecting them out of storage unit hauls, which we haven't had any for quite some time, but I do have somewhat of a decent selection of material from saving sheets, like just the flat sheets, not the fitted ones. Fitted ones we normally use, but the flat ones, we have a few flat sheets that we use, but the rest of them I collect them for material. But anyway, this is a heavier sheet. I believe it's probably 100% cotton. If it's not, it's like a cotton polyester blend. But it is heavy enough material that I do not have to wear a slip, which is a big plus for me because I do not like wearing slips. I like my skirts to be heavy enough that I don't have to, so you can't see through, because that's inappropriate when you can see in between the front and the back, right? That's the way I was raised. So anyway, what I did not use a pattern. I so totally winged this. It's not the first time I've done this, winging it that is, because back when we were in the SCA and we made all the medieval type clothing, I did a lot of sewing where I just winged it. And most of the time stuff turns out pretty good, and the more you do it, the better it looks and the better you get at it and whatnot. But I totally winged it. What I did was I took one of my favorite skirts, which does happen to be the one I'm currently wearing, but it's a little see-through-ish, so I can't really wear it, you know, in public. I do, but not very much or very often, only when it's dark outside. But anyway, I took it and I laid it out. I allowed my seam allowances somewhat. I used the bottom of the sheet, so my skirt already had a hem. Cheating. And I just cut a straight tube. I didn't do any curving or shaping or anything, just a straight tube up. And I sewed up one edge. Then I rolled the top down 2 inches. And this is not perfect, y'all, okay? This is not perfect. I rolled the top down 2 inches. I pinned it, which I didn't count the pins in that. But after I sewed around that, I rolled the bottom piece up, which was probably about, another 2 inches maybe, I don't know, but I rolled it up under. I counted, I think I said 29 straight pins in it, or maybe 30, I don't know, but I had a lot of straight pins. It was like every 2 inches that I put a straight pin to hold that in place. And then I sewed another seam around, so the top area of it has a double seam. I don't know if you can see that or not. So anyway, and I just made a little tube around the top as well. And there is a little gap on one side, which nobody's going to know because my shirt's going to be down over it. It's only about yay wide. I'll show it to you. But I used the drawstring that I had made for that Tunisian poncho thingy that I did not like because it did not fit me. That I took the poncho part, and it's like in, it might be in that bucket. I can't remember, but it's in something, waiting for me to decide whether I want to finish it as a Afghan, blanket or just totally frog it and use the yarn for something different. But since I already had this, I decided to go ahead and use this as a drawstring because I don't have any elastic. I want to say elasticity. I don't have any elastic, and I wasn't quite sure with the method that I did on making this how to accommodate a button. But when I made all my medieval skirts and stuff, I used drawstrings because they didn't have elastic back then. They had buttons, but a lot of people just used drawstrings because they were the easy way to go. And you can adjust how big around you need it. Like if you eat way too much, you can always loosen it up a little bit, or if you lose a little bit of weight, you can cinch it up a little bit more. Yeah, that's the plan. Anyway, so I put the then this is like drawn too tight. This is like smaller than what I really need it, but this is how I had it to take the picture to send to either Lottie or Terri, whichever I decide to send it to this time. But anyway, here is my skirt. And it does come down like mid-calf on me. This is the little area that I was telling you about. And this is the drawstring that I used. I can just tie it in a knot and it will just hang down on that side a little bit. Not quite as much as it's showing now, but if it does, it doesn't matter because it looks kind of cool. So yeah, that's what I made for, oh wait. Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, that's the theme that I made. So that's what I made for the Make a Wearable challenge that Terri and Lottie are hosting for the month of June. And for those of you that are curious, this is, like I said, this is nowhere near perfect. Don't critique me. I don't care. But I made sure and I lined up my bottom and my top, and I just kind of followed that short piece all the way up. So I got a little bit extra, and that's kind of why I decided to just go ahead and leave it there. So when it does close shut, it kind of helped cover that a little bit. And like I said, I used the bottom hem or seam, or yeah, it'd be the bottom hem of the sheet for the bottom hem of my skirt. And then this is one of the edges that had the whatever, seam, selvage, hem, whatever you want to call it. And here is, let me pull this a little tight so you can see, that is the inside of my drawstring pouch. So there you have it. I created something totally unique for a wearable. I need to get this down and wash it because I don't know where the sheet has been. I'm not too worried about touching it like this, but there is some dirt and stuff on it that I want to wash off before I stick it in my drawer to wash, or stick it in my drawer to wear it. But I will include a little picture of it hanging up in my doorway, and also a little clip of me wearing it. The clip of me wearing it, I was trying to, accommodate here in my craft room, which isn't very big. And I got my fan and my sewing machine in the way because they were just there already. But you can kind of get the gist of how it fits and what it kind of looks like when I am wearing it. So I want to thank you guys for joining me here in the craft room, and I will see you right back here for my next video.